Talk about having a bad day. The prophet Amos in the first lesson must have been having a bad day. I don't know how you read that with a straight face. So here's what he says. I despise your festivals. I take no delight in your assemblies. I will not accept your offerings. That'd go over real big here. I would take away the noise of your songs. I will not listen to the melody of your harps. But let justice roll down like waters and righteousness like an everlasting stream. Well, so much for what we do here on Sunday morning. Forget the offering, cancel the choir, and Don, take off your robe and get out of here. But see, that's not the point. I mean, the history of God's people in the church is not always pretty. And there are times when religion can get in the way of a healing spirituality. I mean, there are probably times when you walk out of here on a Sunday morning and go, exactly what is he thinking? Now, how many times have you gone to a wedding or a funeral? And by the time the service is over, you forgot why you were there. Because the pomp and the circumstance becomes more important than the message and the event itself. You know, there are times in our life, and I just think of what you guys go through, that we just need to stop and do nothing. Matty Stepanek, right after September 11, wrote this. He said, we just need to stop. Just stop before anybody does anything else or says anything that's going to hurt somebody else. We need to be silent, if only for a few moments, before we ever start losing the blessings of the heart song that God gives to us. You know, think about last Sunday, about this time of day, what happened in that little Baptist church in Texas. Think of the continued devastation of all the families in Puerto Rico and Houston, South Florida, Mexico. And then there's a family in Homer Glen, mom and her kids. They lose everything in a fire. And you add that to the stuff that each one of you goes through in your life when you come here. And there are times when you just got to stop. Stop working for a minute. Stop hurrying. Stop shopping. Stop thinking. Maybe stop praying. Stop trying to do it all. Stop apologizing and selling yourself short. Stop second-guessing yourself. Stop trying to control everything and everybody in your life. Just stop and just be. Instead of looking for the Spirit, just let the Spirit in. Instead of looking for Jesus, let Jesus' Spirit be a part of your life. Because, you know, it's easy to lose the joy. It's easy to lose that childlike magic that allows us to laugh and just enjoy the moment once in a while. This probably has nothing to do with anything, but most of my sermons don't anyway, so I might as well try it again. But anyway, sometimes you have these little slices of life. A little thing happens, and later on they remind you of the big slices. So it's 8:15 Friday morning, and you can imagine how busy I am by 8:15 in the morning. And he walks into my office. And he says, Don, do you have a few minutes? And usually when somebody walks into my office and says, Don, do you have a few minutes, that means something pretty serious. Well, the gentleman who walks into my office is a very successful lawyer. And he's a busy man. And he has been playing basketball on Thursday nights, right during church, for all things, with these guys for over 20 years. And most of the guys that are playing basketball are not much younger than I am. I used to play with them on Wednesdays, but I was such a bad sport, they changed till Thursday night, so I couldn't be there anymore. Well, anyway, we're sitting in my office, and Ron's face lights up. And he says, Don, I got to tell you a story. And he looks like some little kid who was telling his buddy that they just won the state championship. He said, I want to tell you about the game last night. This is a pickup game in our gym. He said, we're down by 4 points, and the ball comes to me, and I shoot it, and I make it, so we're only down 1. The other team gets the ball, and they go down, and they score. Well, then I get the ball again, and because I made the last shot, they're guarding me pretty close, but I see Brad under the basket, and I pass the ball to Brad, and he scores, and then the other team gets the ball, and they score. We're down by 2. I get the ball, I shoot a 3-point shot, and we win the game. And I'm thinking, this guy has no life. Because I know, like in an hour, he's going to be in court helping somebody decide the destiny of their future. That's the big stuff. I kept thinking about that conversation all day. The joy of a simple moment. Being old enough to not forget to learn how to play. A pickup game with your buddies in the gym in the midst of all the stuff that's going on around us. Because sometimes we just need to stop and enjoy the moment and be able to discover how much fun it is to laugh and to play and to be yourself. Well, speaking of stopping, Luann stopped yesterday. And she has a group here that meets 2 Thursdays in the afternoon of disabled young adults. They're called Angels Among Us. And when these young adults walk into our church, they're about as disabled as I am Italian. Because they walk in the door and they have no clue that they're disabled. They just are God's children. They are as normal as the day is long, and they come here just to be themselves. Well, anyway, on Saturday, Luann comes by, and she sits in my office, and there's some quietness and there's some tears because she's talking to me about her 27-year-old daughter, Kate. And Kate doesn't talk, and Kate doesn't walk. She's in a wheelchair, and supposedly she was supposed to die 15 years ago, and here she is at the age of 27. But she's facing a very uncertain future because of her heart condition. But she has a very uncertain future with a very certain mom who has a big heart. And I think of those words, honor and courage and valor. You see, that's why Kate is still here, because she lives with a mom who honors her. Each day honors her with courage and with valor. And you can't buy that kind of medicine. And you see, I was thinking about that basketball game, and I was thinking about Luann and her daughter Kate, and I was reminded of exactly why we are here. You see, now I know why the choir sings, and I know why we clean the floors and decorate the church. I know why I go to the dollar store every week. I know why we pay our bills and sing "This is the Feast of Victory for Our God" every single Sunday. Because it helps me, and maybe hopefully helps you once in a while, to discover and to rediscover what life is all about. It's ultimately about caring, and it's about sharing, and it's about daring to believe that in our humanity that we can make a difference in our little corner of the world. And once in a while, just stopping and remembering, it's okay to be me. It's not perfect, but it is okay. Amen. If you're able to, please rise for the creed. It's on page 105.